Retirement is supposed to be the reward, right? The big exhale after decades of doing what you're supposed to do. You put the work in, you saved, you planned, and then finally, freedom. That's what I thought too. But here's the truth, no one told me. I had no idea what I was retiring to. I spent the first 2 years after retirement doing exactly what many of us dream about, traveling. And it was wonderful. And honestly, I don't regret one single moment of it. But I didn't plan for what comes after that. And that's my biggest regret. 2 years in, I woke up one morning and I realized something was missing. I didn't know who I was anymore. I had no idea what came next. This video is for anyone planning for retirement, already retired, or wondering what it's like when the honeymoon phase ends. That's because a piece of the puzzle no one talks about, and if you miss it, you might find yourself feeling more lost than free. Let me take you back. The first day I woke up retired, I was giddy. No alarm clocks, no meetings, no email inbox waiting to explode. Just me and the world of possibilities. And I dove in head first. We packed the car and headed to Mexico for a few months, just driving around the country exploring. And it was wonderful. We returned home, we dropped the car off and hopped a flight to Belgrade. We then spent 3 months exploring the Balkans and falling in love with the country. The area is beautiful. From there, we were back home to enjoy summers in Canada because summers here are the best. Then I was off to Portugal to walk the Camino Portuguese with my daughter. From there we spent 6 months exploring South America and then back to Europe. We were truly living the dream, ticking off everything I'd fantasized about while stuck in my 9-to-5 grind. I saw sunsets in the Atacama Desert. I hiked mountains in Patagonia, celebrated my birthday with Christ the Redeemer in Brazil. And I visited every fancy coffee shop along the way. It felt like freedom. It was freedom. I felt like I'd finally done it right, saved enough, left on my own terms, and made the most of my time. But here's the thing. I was so busy living the travel dream, I never stopped to ask myself, what comes after this, after travel? I assumed naively that this feeling would last forever. That once I had arrived in retirement, the rest would just unfold. But freedom without direction eventually feels a lot like being lost. But after almost 2 years of constant motion, we came home. I thought, okay, now I can rest. Now I can enjoy the quiet. But I didn't feel at peace. I felt hollow. At first I chalked it up to jet lag. Or maybe it was a bit of post-travel blues. But a few days turned into a few weeks, and I couldn't shake that feeling. My days stretched out endlessly. I woke up at 9 or 10, drank coffee, read the news, maybe took a walk, and then nothing. I began scrolling on YouTube and TikTok and playing every game on my tablet just to pass the time. I didn't have to be anywhere. No deadlines, no purpose. I felt completely unmoored. And it was subtle. It wasn't a dramatic spiral. It was a slow erosion. I started asking myself, Why even get out of bed early? What's the point of going out today? If the temperature dipped just a little or it was a bit too windy, I used it as an excuse not to go out that day. And that, my friend, is where it starts. Not with the sadness or the panic, but with the gnawing sense that you're invisible. That no one expects anything of you. That you're quietly have stepped off the stage. I didn't retire to become irrelevant, but without meaning, that's exactly how I started to feel. You want to know the strangest part? I didn't miss work. I didn't miss the commute or the office politics, but I missed mattering. I missed contributing to something. I missed being part of something. It's like this. When you've spent 30 years problem solving, showing up for others, creating structure, and then one day, poof, it's gone, and you don't just relax. You feel adrift. I used to scoff when people say they were busier in retirement than when they worked. Now I get it. Because they were smart. They were smart enough to fill that vacuum. I hadn't. I filled it with entertainment, with motion, with movement, but not with meaning. There's a difference between being active and being engaged. I had activities. I didn't have engagement. And without that, the days started to blur. And you start to forget what lit you up in the first place. So here I was, 2 years post-retirement, feeling lost. I knew something had to change, but I didn't know what. So I did what many sane retired people do. I started a YouTube channel. It forced me to do something, to use my brain, to continue learning. And quickly everything started to shift. I noticed I'd wake up with a little bit of a spark. I had something to do that day. I had something to offer, even if no one was watching. Purpose, I learned, isn't about being productive for productivity's sake. It's about contribution, connection, feeling like you belong to something. I stopped thinking about retirement as freedom from work and started thinking about freedom to grow, freedom to be me. And that changed everything. So what would I tell my younger self, or anyone watching who's planning retirement? I'd say, by all means, take that victory lap. Travel, celebrate, sleep in, enjoy it. But while you're doing that, also ask yourself, what gives me a sense of direction? What kind of impact do I want to have now? What identity do I want to grow into next? Because I believe purpose isn't something you find. It's something you build. I'd also say start this work before you retire. Talk to people, shadow them, get curious, plant those seeds. Do the things you always said you would do if you only had the time to do it. And most importantly, don't wait until the silence gets deafening. Don't wait until you feel like you've disappeared. Retirement isn't the end, it's a shift. And it's up to you to shape it into what it becomes. So let me leave you with this. You can plan for the money. You can plan for the freedom. And you can plan for the trips. But if you don't plan for the meaning, you might find yourself wondering, what was all that freedom for? So ask yourself right now, what makes you feel useful? What gives you energy? What or who do you want to spend time with in this next phase? What are you curious about that you've never had time for before? And if you are already retired, or you're feeling like I did, that quiet ache, that drifting, you're not alone. But you don't have to stay there. Start small. Try something new this week that gives you a sense of purpose. A conversation, a class, a cause. And if this video spoke to you in any way, please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps me out. And more than that, leave a comment. Tell me what you found most challenging or surprising about retirement, or what you're doing that has helped you find purpose in retirement. And if you like this video, I think you're really going to like this one, 5 fears about retirement that no one tells you. I think you'll like it. Until next week, bye now.